But, you know, our guest tonight is actually down in Tennessee, where I hear the weather is wonderful right now, and I'd like to welcome on the line with us USWA and TNA co-founder Jarrett. How are you doing?
Just fine. Glad to be here.
Now, we've got a bunch of people in our chat room and via email that have sent us in some questions. We're going to allow people to call in if they've got a question for you as well at 718-664-9835. But if you don't mind, let's go ahead and get started.
All right.
Now, growing up, were you a wrestling fan? If so, who'd you look up to?
A guy named Tex Riley was my favorite. You know, I cheered for him every Tuesday night at the Hippodrome. I was kind of a different kid. I liked the bad guys, except for Tex. I loved the Fargos, Jackie and Don. I loved the Greens, Don and Al Green. And, of course, you know, later on in life, I had a chance to work with these guys. And that was a really big deal for me to, you know, to be from a fan sitting at ringside and then get to wrestle against and work in a business relationship with these guys that I looked up to so much.
Now, was wrestling your first career choice? If not, what was?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
I said, was wrestling your first career choice? If not, what was?
We've got a bad connection. Was wrestling my first what?
Career choice.
Oh, no. No, I went to Peabody College to become a teacher, and when I started the interview process, I found out I was making as much in my part-time jobs as they paid teachers, which I thought was sinful. So I went to work for a bicycle manufacturing company as a purchasing agent. And up to that time, you know, the wrestling business had just been like a part-time job, so I could make some money in the summers and while I was going to school.
Now, we actually have a caller on the line who has a question for you. Caller from the 706, you're on the line with Jarrett. Go ahead with your question.
You know, I hate to shake things up, and I hope it's not too controversial. First, good evening, Mr. Jarrett.
And good evening.
I don't want to get rumors started, but I think you started them nationwide. People are talking. I'm surprised this wasn't their first question out of the gate. But is it true, what I've heard, all the way down here in Savannah, Georgia, and I want to be your manager if this is the case, but you stepping back in the ring with Jackie Fargo?
Yeah. I answered Jimmy Cornette's wife was kind of expressing her displeasure at all the people that would friend her on Facebook so they could ask Jimmy for a job. And and so I wrote to her and said that I would just have to take a chance on her wrath because I wanted to ask Jimmy. I'd been talking to Fargo, and we wanted to get back into the ring as a tag team. And
Could you imagine the numbers on the ratings on Raw when you and Jackie Fargo stepped foot in the ring? Vince hadn't seen numbers like that since the 90s.
Well, I don't know what good a rating it would be, and of course, as you know, I just did it. I'm not sure I could climb through the ropes, but
come on now.
It got a lot of talk. A lot of people had a lot of fun with it. Somebody wrote that we could be the Gray Bombers.
Well, I just wanted to call and shout out to you. I know you started that as a joke, but now I'm thinking it could be a little more serious than you think. I think I know, I'll tell you what, if anybody wants to take this thing seriously, get in touch, Jerry Jarrett, offer him the best deal imaginable, and we'll see if he jumps on the, I think Kenny Bolin says he wants to do it over at OVW.
Oh, well, yeah, Kenny, but, I don't know if Kenny would pay me enough. Do you think he's a shady character?
He would pay you, Jerry, he would pay you in coupons to the buffet over there at the Golden Corral.
All right, well, I like to get my money's worth.
Listen, when you come to Savannah, come see me. I'll just sit back and relax and listen. Thank you for everything you've done and continue to do, and can't wait to see what happens in the future because I know you're not done yet.
All right. Thank you for calling.
All right. We have one more caller on the air with us. Caller from the 978. You're on the air with Jerry Jarrett. Go ahead with your question.
Hey, JT. How you doing? Mr. Jarrett, my name's Mark. I actually had, this may be a three-part question. We'll try to keep it short. My first question is, and I hope I'm not getting too far into what you'll probably be talking about later, but when you did the co-promotion with Vince McMahon back in the early 90s, and you brought Vince in as a heel-type character, was there any kind of plans to have Vince actually participate in the ring?
Well, let me give you the backstory on that. I was working for Vince. That was, during the time of the government coming after him over steroid distribution.
Right.
And so in working with Vince, I made the comment one day at the risk of his wrath that I said, Vince, you should get in the ring because you are the most natural heel I've ever been around. And instead of him getting mad at me, he laughed. And he said, are you serious? And I said, yeah, I'm serious. You have natural heat, just the way you present yourself. I said, now I know. I said, I know what a sweet guy you really are, but just the way you come across, you would draw a whole lot of money. And then, that opened up the conversation, and he said, I've always really wondered how it would be. So I said, look, you don't want to do it up here. But down in Memphis, we're kind of still a secret. And why don't you come down there and try your hand at it? And that's how it all got started. And Vince turned out to be one of the best talents I think our business has ever had.
Okay, great. And I guess the second part of my question was, when USWA was running hot again, early 90s and such, did the fans ever grow weary or get tired of the fact that they'd bring in a big name from WWE or such, and Lawler would drop the strap to them, and then eventually maybe be a month or two later, that it would always kind of be the same repeating cycle that Lawler would drop the strap, win the strap, drop the strap, win the strap. Did that ever, the fans ever get kind of tired of that fact, and did it ever hurt the USWA's business for knowing kind of in ahead what was going to happen?
Well, I'm not sure they knew in advance what would happen. Our area of promotion had a history of changing the titles with some regularity. Now, the difference in us and today is we would always go back to the same people. In other words, Jerry Lawler was the, as everybody knows, basically the champion in our area. And he would lose it on occasion, but generally he would win it back. So, the only gauge we have in our business is at the box office. And the box office said that they did not get tired of it.
So the fans, did not care. They wanted as much of Jerry Lawler being, the hero in that area, that no matter who Jerry Lawler went against, especially if it was a WWE guy, it would still draw a tremendous gate for you guys. And so it was always a fair bet to have Jerry Lawler in the main event, I'm guessing.
Yes. They, Jerry was kind of like the Dallas Cowboys to the city of Dallas. I mean, he was our local hero. And, I don't think they got tired of him at all.
Okay, great. And I'm going to wrap this up. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Mr. Jarrett.
No, that's all right. Go ahead.
Okay, and I guess my last question is, we all know Jarrett is to your area like Flair is to the Carolinas, but about TNA, what do you think TNA's future is now? Do you think they can stand a chance as a national promotion, or as a lot of people think, do you think they maybe have to change the entire infrastructure of their company to maybe become a national player in terms of competing with Vince McMahon?
Well, here is my situation. I was talking in a business meeting earlier today, and during the break in it, they asked me, and I have a vested interest because I have 3 beautiful granddaughters that it would impact them very negatively if TNA went under. So when I say my prayers, I hope for them to turn things around and survive. With that being said, I am surprised at their survival this long with their business philosophy. And so, I hope they turn it around so that they will survive. I don't know if they will or not. It's not a business model that I think, if I had an opportunity to go in business again or start another company, it's certainly not the business model that I would use.
All right, great. Thank you, Mr. Jarrett. Thank you, I'm sorry. I'm cutting you off. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I hope that isn't skirting your question.
Oh, you absolutely did. Absolutely did. And I think maybe, with the talent that they have, they could really get something going. But like I said, I think maybe, they just have to make some very important, office moves. And I think they could be a good wrestling promotion because we definitely need an alternative to what WWE is doing now. And thank you, Mr. Jarrett, and thank you, J.T., for having me on, and I appreciate everything.
Thank you for calling.
Okay, we'll get a little bit more into TNA a little bit later as well. Now, early in your career, Jerry, we were talking about him a few minutes ago, you teamed with the fabulous Jackie Fargo. What were your feelings on Jackie then, and has your relationship changed at all over the years?
I saw Jackie in the Carolinas. I went to a fan fest kind of thing, and Jackie and I, it's exactly like that we were in the Memphis dressing room the week before, except we're both, old timers now. But no, I love Jackie. He's a great human being. I owe a lot of the success that I've had in this business to him.